Hi, I'm Kenny Anderson, Director of Multicultural Affairs for the City of Huntsville, and welcome to Impact. Each week we bring you information about exciting things that are happening right here in our city, and today will be no different. Now, perhaps there's nothing more exciting than what's happening right now in downtown Huntsville. I've been a resident of this community for a very long time, and the things that I'm seeing that are happening in that location of our city right now are probably as exciting as anything I've seen over the last several decades of living here in this community. Well, one of the people that we have to thank for that is Mr. Chad Emerson. He is the Executive Director of Downtown Huntsville, Inc., and it's my privilege to welcome Chad to the broadcast today. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks, Kenny. Glad to be here.
It's good to have you, man. There's a lot of excitement being generated from downtown Huntsville today. In fact, it's the buzzword in a lot of people's minds when they start thinking about it and talking about a destination in Huntsville. They're kind of seeking out what's going on downtown right now. But let's talk a little bit about your background first. Where did you come from and how did you land in Huntsville?
Yeah, I actually grew up in Michigan and then went to undergraduate in Nashville, law school in Tennessee, so I'm a proud volunteer, and spent some time in Montgomery teaching law school and then helping turn around downtown Montgomery. Real proud of those efforts, and then brought a lot of those strategies up here to the Rocket City.
And it's really paying off. And, you know, a lot of times these things take some time to really take off, and they've taken off pretty fast in a short period of time. Obviously, you came with a wealth of knowledge and information, but it also has to take a city government working along with you. It takes Chamber of Commerce. It takes all of these other entities that are part of the community to make it work too. And I know that that's one of the things you enjoy the most, being in a community where people are so willing to work together.
Yeah, one of the things about when we were in Montgomery, there's a great team. You said a private-public partnership. And when I was looking at this opportunity, that's something I noticed right off the bat, all the way from Mayor Battle, all the way down to the people you see working on Saturday mornings, helping clean up the square, right? Everyone really seemed to have a common goal, and that's to have as good a city as possible.
Yeah. Well, you know, I know that there's not a weekend, perhaps. You may know of an empty weekend. I hadn't seen one. It's almost like people are standing in line right now to get a piece of downtown for one reason or another. Either it's the food, either it's the real estate, it's the activities that are going on, and there's so many exciting things that are happening. What has been the most interesting thing about this process for you right now, just the revitalization of downtown Huntsville?
We've been real surprised at how quickly people wanted to get back involved in downtown. I think what had happened is their experience had atrophied a little bit. It had gone stale. As soon as you started doing interesting things, we like to use the term eclectic, interesting, unique experiences, people came back in a hurry, and that includes everything from a food truck with 5,000 people there to a water slide that's 1,000 feet long and we're gonna have 10,000 people. People were looking for unique experiences. As soon as we provided them, they started coming back in big numbers.
Okay, give me the food truck analogy, because I gotta tell you, I was a quiet skeptic. I mean, I knew it was coming, but I was like, food trucks, okay, that's kind of interesting. Let's see what happens. And I wandered downstairs and I'm just surrounded by a sea of thousands of people who are just clamoring to get a hold of some of the delicious food being offered by the food trucks. What do you make of that whole thing and the success? Because it's been a wild success that was looked at hesitantly at first, but has become one of the most amazing successes of the downtown Huntsville story.
So it's partly about food, and all the food trucks, they really are culinarians. They don't just serve warmed up food. They serve great dishes. You can go to some of those trucks and get as good a quality food as you're gonna get any restaurant. So it's partly that, it's great food, new food options. Also to do though, we set these up so it'd be great opportunities for people to gather, whether it be with family, whether it be friends, whether it be just a single buddy or a girlfriend right there. And so the idea is that there's music, there's activity, and it's more an opportunity in a setting that like Big Spring Park or over by the Lumberyard Meridian Entertainment District. Beautiful setting just to enjoy yourself on a Friday evening. So we think that part of the success is the food, but part is people want to gather. We're in the gathering economy. People want to gather in unique ways, and this is a fun way to gather and get some great food while you're doing it.
I know I've had a chance to reacquaint myself with people that have lived in the city for the last 20 years that I actually haven't seen, just because the food trucks are bringing people out and they're coming out with their families and they're coming out and having a great time. The whole process is even evolving because now you've got vendors there, you've got music acts going on. Occasionally there's something going on at the square. Maybe there's a craft beer thing going on at the Von Braun Center. There's just so much energy, and the whole downtown corridor is alive at any given time.
And another one of our big principles, in addition to being eclectic, is free to attend. So almost all of our events you can attend for free. Now we hope you spend money while you're there to fill the city sales tax coffers and help support a lot of those efforts, but you can come listen to the music, bring your picnic lunch, or bring a Frisbee and hang out with your kids, or bring a soccer ball. So the free to attend, and then you have the option to invest in your experience when you're down there. That's been really successful because it lowers the barrier and is a very inclusive way to design an event.
Yeah, and the thing that really I think has caught me off guard in a pleasant kind of way, I know we got the Belk Hudson Lofts downtown, and so people are living downtown. We've got the Twickenham district now, and people are living downtown. But at any given time, you come downtown and the square is full of people eating. There are people walking, they're running, they're walking their dogs, they're congregating. I mean, they're participating in some activity on the square perhaps, or somewhere in the area. That's really amazing to see because, like you said, for so long, at 5 o'clock, downtown just got quiet. People left and didn't come back to the next day. And this is just a different experience happening right now.
And we're really blessed with some assets that are really hard to compete with. You think about Big Spring Park, both sides of the park, and how it kind of winds through downtown. Having a great convention center with an arena and a performing arts, a great art museum, a great children's museum, and then of course Montesano overlooking downtown. If you're in downtown, you're 5 minutes from 30 miles of hiking and biking trails. All those assets put together, it's hard to find a more interesting place, we think, not just in the state of Alabama, but really in the Southeast.
Yeah. So the things that I've been seeing, the cornhole stuff, the Nassau on the Square, I mean, just all the things that are happening. How do those things come about? Do people come to you and say, hey, we'd like to do something, or do you kind of go to them and pitch ideas? How does that all come about?
It started with us coming with ideas, looking at other cities and trying to, we like to say, steal and adapt, take their idea and kind of put a unique twist, a Huntsville twist on it. But more and more we're getting people coming to us with ideas and saying, how can we do this? And we always say is, good traditional events are strong and we need to let people do those, but we try to really focus on the kind of eclectic, unique ones, to the point now we're starting to come up with some of ours, like the downtown putt-putt course we do every June, 20 plus putt-putt holes, and it's really fun, Kenny. Now we've seen our sister city down south in Birmingham. Guess what? They have a putt-putt course coming to their downtown. So we're glad to share our ideas, just like we borrow ideas. But that's really the approach, is think about how can it be eclectic yet approachable, keep it free to attend, and we think that equation is a big hit.
And most of it is family friendly. So, I mean, you got a family focused city that likes to have family events. And so this is really a great combination of opportunity, plus the population is there to bring people out on any given night when something is going on.
We call it all ages friendly. We do some of our concerts, and we really strive, we curate these concerts with the bands, with the setting in Big Spring Park East, the grotto lights all around it, so that you could be like me and my wife with 5 kids, have a great time. You could be a single person straight out of college, have a great time. And so you got to be really careful, you got to try to meet all those needs, but at the same time, we try to create a broad audience. And the more people that can come to it, the more inclusive the event, the better attended, and probably the more positive experience people will have.
Now, occasionally I'm talking to people who say, as they said many years ago, there's nothing going on in Huntsville. That's not something that people can really get away with saying today, because there's any number of options today.
Yeah, like I tell people, they must be calling you from their locked basement if they say that, because how you can say that now? I mean, not just downtown. I mean, it's downtown. There's a ton going on, but all across the city. To really think there's not something to do on Monday, Tuesday, all the way into the weekend, almost every weekend, as you mentioned. It's a fantastic time to be in the Rocket City, because everything seems to be humming in a great way, and that includes our surrounding cities, the county and other cities. This North Alabama region is really taking off, and to say that there's not something going on is really probably thinking about a few years ago and not living in the present.
Yeah, and the other thing I think about too when I think about all the great things that are happening, as you said, across the city, is these are not second city events. I mean, these are quality, prime time events, first-class performances and opportunities to engage in different kinds of activities. I mean, this is the top-of-the-line stuff. It's the kind of stuff that years ago you would probably have to go to a Birmingham or Nashville, Atlanta to be a part of, but that's happening right here in the city now. Yeah,
the word curate is really good, because that means you've taken the time to really plan the event, to get the best results possible. The jazz festival you recently work with, I mean, those are national quality performers. The Grotto Lights concert, hottest weekend of the year concert. We're bringing in people who have played South by Southwest, Bonnaroo, Austin city limits. And so taking the time, it's easier, and we still get local bands, don't get me wrong, that's important too, but you need that balance. And so what we're finding now is we're not just local oriented. There are starting to be more and more performers who are saying, hey, I hear, especially in Nashville, just 90 minutes up the road, they're like, I hear something cool's going on down there. Maybe I'll come down there on a Thursday night and play. And we say that's great because really that reputation is starting to come along, that it's not just, like you said, second or third tier acts. Some national acts are really starting to take an interest in downtown Huntsville.
Yeah, so a lot of hot stuff going on, but one of the hottest perhaps, and it's also one of the coolest, is Slide the City.
Of course.
That's the big one coming up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so last winter, someone got wind of Slide the City, shared it with, this is one where they shared with us, and we were jam-packed in September already with the Big Spring Crush Wine Festival, street food gatherings, there's chili cook-offs. One more event was going to be hard to do, but enough people finally said is, can you bring Slide the City to Huntsville so I don't have to go to Chattanooga or here or there? And so we signed it up, and real fortunate working with a great team, with the city, Parks and Rec, with Leadership Huntsville, got a great team, coalition together. It's a 1,000-foot long slip and slide. So you basically start at Clinton and Church, and you end up in front of the Art Museum. And 1,000 feet, it may not picture that. That is a whole several city blocks. And so we've found that we're one of the fastest selling cities for all the Slide the Cities. They've sold over 1,500 tickets, they told us. Wow. The slide is actually in the city as of today's recording. Oh. And it's one of the things we did is not just put the slide there. The other cities just put in the slide. That alone is fun. Let's turn Big Spring Park into Big Spring Beach for the entire weekend. So minus the sand, we're having beach balls, we're having all type of water games, and we're gonna have Buffalo Rock stage with a headliner act called Southern Halo, which is one of the fastest rising trio of sisters in Southeastern Americana music. So it's gonna be a great weekend. It's gonna be featuring the slide, but even if you don't wanna slide, again, that free to attend, lots of fun things to come down to do, and there'll be over 30 vendors there too.
That's right, and it's Center City once again. You just wanna come to the park and sit on a bench or feed the ducks. I mean, and be around a sea of people and opportunity. It's going to be a great weekend. We know that. Is there anything that you've got on the cooker that we haven't seen or heard about that you can let us know that you're looking at right now?
We've got a couple of ideas out there. You think of the 5K runs and some of the more eclectic ones. You think of some activities where what we tell people is to picture an activity and kind of twist it about 45 degrees, how it might be a little bit different. It might look a little bit different if you just changed it up. We've got a few of those coming. So we think 2016 is not a year to rest on our laurels. It's a year to grow the experience.
Well, we're excited about that for sure. We know you got a big social media presence. People can link up with you on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and perhaps lots of other places. Tell people how they can find out more about Downtown Huntsville, Inc.
Yeah, the best way is go to downtownhuntsville.org, all spelled out, downtownhuntsville.org. From there you can link up, as you mentioned, to our Facebook page. We've closing in on 20,000 followers in less than 2 years. Great Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. We're now on Tumblr and Flickr also. So you can access all of those channels through downtownhuntsville.org. And if you want to email info, I-N-F-O, at downtownhuntsville.org.
Yeah. And you know, I think it's interesting, you're closing on 20,000 people. Just because a website sits out there or a Facebook page or social networking page sits out there, people just don't go to it. Obviously, you created a brand that people are excited about, and they're looking to it as the go-to place to figure out what's going on, to throw suggestions perhaps, make comments, and provide feedback as well. So that's got to be pretty exciting too, because there's so much potential to grow that as well.
Yeah, I remember sitting there in August or October of 2013, Halloween night, and hitting live. The Facebook went live, and you're like wondering, is anyone gonna like this page? And like I said, less than 2 years later, nearly 20,000 people have signed up. And part of that is because we're trying to create an interesting experience as the number's important, but the number of people that stay engaged is really important. So whether it be upcoming, we're bringing the world's largest grill to downtown, the Johnsonville Trailer, it's a semi-truck that converts into a grill, to Grotto Lights concerts, to the Tinsel Trail, which is one of the most beautiful tinsel trails in America. All of these activities really try to create a unique experience. Even more than just a destination, we want downtown Huntsville to be a unique, eclectic experience that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it really is. And I think that one of the most appreciative things of this whole thing is that it's any time of year you can find something. You don't have to sit back and say, okay, summer's coming up, so these 2 or 3 things are going to happen. It's like you can really now literally look forward to any weekend or any weekday in some situations and find something happening or going on somewhere close by that DHI has had their hand on perhaps or is in support of. Chad Emerson, he's the Executive Director of Downtown Huntsville Inc. Thank you for all that you're doing, and come back and see us sometime. Let us know what's going on.
Thanks, Kenny.
All right. Chad Emerson, and it's a pleasure talking with him today about all the exciting things that are happening in downtown Huntsville. If you have not discovered it yet because you're new to the city, this is your opportunity to do that. And if you've been away from the scene for a while, come on back down. I bet you'll be surprised at what you see happening right now in downtown Huntsville these days. It's been my pleasure talking to you as always. Kenny Anderson for Impact. We'll talk to you again soon. Have a great day.